Now is the time.
Forever? Tangent. Old.
Halt.
Hashtag always MGM.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Calm down. AK haters.
But what if it could?
Behold the majesty of the Sistine Ceiling.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
Ha! What a cute ending.
Aloha and
Don't Dillo it.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and it is the month of May, everyone. It is the month of May.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May the 1st, May Day. Do your maypole dance if you got a pole with ribbons around it. Dance around the maypole.
Sure.
Whatever you need to do today. Happy May Day. We are here in the month of May, which means 3 weeks from today, Epic Universe opens at Universal Orlando, Universal Studios, Universal Escape, Universal Studios Florida, whatever it's called.
Okay.
But we're excited for this epic event. See what I did there?
Oh.
And so we have guests lined up here for a couple of weeks who have visited Epic Universe already.
Yeah.
Because we haven't.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, we're here. We only can go for 24 hours to Jelly Rolls. That's our limit.
That's it. That's where the line is drawn.
But we're going to try to go in order here of how people visited too. So our guest this week attended Epic Universe before next week's guest, who you're already waiting for, and that's Adam. I'm just going to give it away. It's a spoiler. You're going to start waiting for Adam right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, Jen, I'm going to pass it over to you to introduce this week's Theme Park Thursday guest.
Well, I think he's a fan favorite here in the resort. He doesn't even realize that, probably. But we refer to him, shaking his head. We refer to him often. He is someone I have known since I was 13 years old, which means this year we have no age. 30 years.
30 years.
He grew up in the same hometown as Frank and I. We attended the same university. I don't know. That's what the cool Canadians say, right? University, not like college. You know, you say, I don't know. We worked in Innoventions together. He is the Phil to my Lil, the one and only OPP. Operating.
Yes. Am I bringing him in? I'll bring him in. Here he is.
In the intro, you have to bring him in. Hi.
Hey guys. Hey.
Hey. Welcome.
Welcome back, OPP. Wait, Jen. So it's 30 years this year.
I guess so. Is that right? I don't know. It's probably already 30 years, right? Because it was 7th grade. What are you, 12 when you go into 7th grade?
So I'm just trying to line it up as if I moved to Orlando in August 1995, did OPP then fill the void left by me?
Obviously.
Sure, we can say that. OPP and I often discuss how little we talked probably from 7th to 12th grade. Like we talked, but then once we graduated and started at the same college. Well, I started a year after him and then just made our schedules together all the time and then moved to Florida together. And then, we're attached at the hip. Then we made up for all that lost time. But yeah.
Oh, right? Well, we were orbiting each other in the best way in high school. And then we just came together at the end. And
Paul was cooler than me, so.
Okay. Let's not even start that.
And always a fun fact that I was in the same graduating class as OPP's older brother.
That's true. Are you guys in the same? So we have to get out the yearbooks. We might have to get out the yearbooks to compare.
Oh yeah, maybe after the recording proper is done, maybe I'll need to go grab my 9. I think it might be accessible. I'll see if it's.
I was going to say, can you grab
possible.
it? It's like that.
I feel like all of a sudden it appears.
Like
it's another year, whack, and it hits me in the head. And
what is time? What is time?
What is time indeed?
Before we get into everything, Jelly Rolls has been closed on Disney Boardwalk now for a couple of weeks. So OPP, I thought maybe you would give me your perspective on Jelly Rolls and maybe some time with Jen at Jelly Rolls. I didn't prep you for this. I didn't prep Jen for this. But I'm throwing it out there, stalling a little bit for you to process what I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't know if I loved Jelly Rolls as much as everybody else loves Jelly Rolls. I mean, of course, we did go often because it was a fun thing to do. We could go after work. It was like free entry for cast members on certain evenings. So I actually only feel like I have 2 nights that I remember at Jelly Rolls, and it's not because of like heavy drinking or anything like that. I think it's just
or maybe
possibly. We were a lot younger back then. But my first remembrance of us going is the night that my current partner was there and asked me out on our first date that night. Happened to, so like we kind of got together that night. I don't know, Jen was there that night because there was a bunch of us. But then we also went to Jelly Rolls for like the final goodbye for when everybody was kind of parting ways towards the end of Interventions, like when our close-knit group was leaving, except I stayed for another 4 years. So like that night also sticks in my head because, it was just a fun, sentimental evening. I don't know if you remember that one, Jen.
That one I remember. I mentioned that on the we did a tribute to Jelly Rolls podcast that dropped on April 17th. And I think I mentioned in there how like my final farewell was like at Jelly Rolls and saying goodbye to everybody. And like I recall that night pretty well for the most part. But yeah, that's funny though that I didn't realize that was the same night you guys got together, was like that Jelly Rolls was included in that.
Yeah.
But he didn't love it as much as everybody else. I don't understand.
Well, I mean,
I just nostalgia. OPP.
You know what's so funny? You know what? Just don't even think. I mean, right? Because when we got married, we had, and I think we talked about this the last time on the. By the way, there's been a pandemic since the last time I was on the podcast.
Has it been so long?
A lot of time has gone. Yes, but it meant I liked going there. It was fun, and it did leave something with us because at our wedding we had dueling pianos, and it was kind of like a dedication to that and that time. So it did mean something, but it wasn't like my favorite that you place.
Like, I don't know if I loved it. We only had dueling pianos at our wedding as like a tribute, but it's fine.
Yeah. I just why am I even here? Just
the entire beginning of the answer to my question, and at the end, it something I never heard before. It was that you had dueling pianos at your wedding.
I'll release the video of Paul and I dancing to Journey, which I also mentioned. Oh, maybe I just mentioned that too. Did I mention that on the tribute episode or when we talked to Scotty that if you and I were there, we had to request Journey, Don't Stop Believing. So
yeah. Funny. But it doesn't fall short on me that Jelly Rolls is a staple, and it's sad that it's not there anymore.
Yeah. And then next month, from this podcast dropping, Muppets will close. Will you get to see Muppets one more time or no?
No, I will not, which is sad as well. I don't have any plans on going back down between now and then. So, which is, that'll make me sad. I love Muppets. I just, Muppets aren't represented enough anymore.
That's very true. Just gonna get depressed now.
During your time, we're getting to Epic Universe eventually, everyone.
Yeah, eventually.
Next week's guest, Adam, yelled at us for doing new stuff and not nostalgic stuff. So I want to focus on that here at the beginning. During your time working at Interventions, what sort of things did you end up becoming nostalgic for now that you're not there as often?
God.
I'm asking a hard-hitting question. We're like, oh,
Wow.
the Epic Universe.
Wow.
I know one.
Sure.
The
Talk for
opening.
me.
What was the Epcot what was the Epcot opening? What was the show right outside the doors, and you would want to go out every time?
Yeah. So when we were there is when they did Epcot opening with the double-decker bus every morning for rope drop, and that song Dance in a Catchy Rhythm. If anybody knows, that was the song that was blasted, and I think it was a song that was originally in a parade over one of the Asian parks, and they brought it over and they used it for the opening of Epcot, and that was always so fun to be at rope drop. So I do miss that. I mean, it's kind of cliche, and I kind of miss everything about it. You know, I miss that job. I miss the people that I worked with. I miss you can't. Working in a theme park is so fun, and when you have, and you know, don't shoot the messenger, but when you have a job that isn't necessarily frontline having to deal with everybody, it sometimes is a little bit more enjoyable because you get to enjoy it without any sort of guest drama, and dealing with that end of things. But I miss, it's sad that the building that we worked in isn't there anymore. I have not been to Epcot since Journey Through Water was opened, or actually the last time I was there, the walls were up, so they had already knocked down the building, but they hadn't really finished anything. That's sad that that's gone, because every time we go back, I'll be like, oh, this is where we worked, but it's just not there anymore. But of course, I miss the standard things. I miss Disney smells. I went to a restaurant last night, and I was like, this restaurant kind of smells like a Disney restaurant. Even the bad smells, like when they put like the new mulch down and it stunk. Like I miss that kind of smell. Different things like that.
How would you describe the smell of the tunnels?
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Like, can you
it was garbage. Like musty, wet garbage.
Sometimes I feel like a Hot Pocket smell is
because people would obviously, because they were break rooms down there, and they were microwaves, and people would be using them to microwave their Hot Pockets.
That's gross.
But it was still fun to be down
How
there.
many times have you seen Jen throw her keys when she came into the break room of Interventions? Because she talks about that all the time.
I may have seen Paul throw them more.
Yeah. Who had the worst temper while we were there? Probably me. I mean, that was just the standard thing you did. Like when you were mad, you just
what you did.
Swung the break room door open and just throw your key across the room. That's just.
But who doesn't miss working at a theme park?
But that was when you had to deal with, being out there in the open with everybody. So it was
wild. Yeah. Paul had an amazing way, though, of talking with guests who could be challenging and continue to challenge anything he was saying to direct them to guest relations in a way no one else could get away with. People tried to do it like Paul. You can't do it like Paul. Like it was for him only.
Is that a compliment?
It is. And it's a reminder that everyone shouldn't do exactly what everyone else does. It's good times.
I honed my skills.
The part about Journey of Water that I want to ask Jen is, when you were there, Jen, because you always had to say you had to zoom across the water. Did you think about that when you were in Journey of Water?
I didn't, and that's a missed opportunity on my part, that I didn't walk in here and go, what, am I zooming through the water to collect gems in this place? No, I didn't. That's next time out.
How dare you? How dare you just miss out on that opportunity?
I should probably figure out, because then, I mean, that whole area does throw me off, much like Frank, I know that you can be in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and like understand where we are in the Great Movie Ride, and I lose it after a while. And it's the same for like being around Moana, or even the Connections, whatever that place is called. But I'm like, wait, what was this? Wait, where am I? And like trying to figure out like where the Think Live wall was and, all the things. So
yeah. The tough one is actually Toy Story Land because we always cut through the back if we had to pick up stuff by the trailers behind the sound stages back in the day. So now walking through like right down that main path of Toy Story Land is always like, where am I in relation? Because even when you walk over that bridge to go to Slinky, it doesn't feel like it felt like it was much deeper back 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as large now with the Slinky coaster.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to address some things in the chat. Lewis, we are not Hot Pocket bashing. I enjoyed a Hot Pocket back in my gluten days. It was just that smell that reminded me of the staircase. I can't believe Theme Park Rob has never had one. And Theme Park Rob saying where the Golden Girls house was. I feel like there is, TikToks and reels where someone's showing that like on a map and what is there in the park.
That's
now,
in Talking Bay 7, right?
Restaurant. Yes. Right.
Yeah. No, one of these days I have to kind of put the map over the Toy Story Land area. I'm sure I have done that 6 years ago or whatever, but
right.
I need to
or you just say it. I think you say you're going to do it all the time.
All the time. Paul, you went to Epic Universe. You probably can give me the date eventually, but you went during a time where no pictures or video were allowed. So there was it was like there was something, and I think you quickly pulled it off of social media. I don't know if it's still there or not. But I saw one picture of you in Epic Universe, which made me reach out to Jen and like, oh, isn't Epic Universe? What's that about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, I did. We went on March 23rd. I can't believe that seems like so long ago right now. There is a picture. It's not an illegal picture. It was it was a picture that they were taking, their photographers were taking. So they were allowing those pictures to be taken in front of the different portals. And then you were allowed to use those. But other than that, no pictures or about anything else were allowed, even when you were willing to have your cameras out. There were signs everywhere that said absolutely no photography, no videos, no FaceTiming anyone, like things like that. So they were really strict when we were there.
How many cameras did you see out?
Surprisingly, I don't think I saw that many cameras out.
Good.
So, I mean, when I was there, it was during a friends and family preview for Universal employees. So I think that everybody was being on their best behavior because, they were given that opportunity. So they didn't want to kind of push it or anything like that.
Well, and there was these rumors. The rumors were rampant. No one, they're unsubstantiated rumors, I believe, alleged rumors, would you say, Jen, of the amount of people, the number of people who violated this or their friends and family violated, whatever it was. And it was a constant flow of people being marched out in front of everybody for all to see. Now I'm just exaggerating it, but that's what I picture in my brain is just this constant, the people just coming out of these portals with their hands behind their back and brought into, covering their face along the way. You didn't see that?
I didn't see any of that, thankfully. I mean, that would have been fun to see like that type of drama, but it really wasn't. That really wasn't happening. I mean, and they were doing a lot of things while we were there, like painting and testing certain things. So it really was like, this is, just us testing this out. And obviously things might not work. And I can get into that a little bit as we go in, but, just, you're here as a privilege and, to get there before large crowds, but also to help out, us figure things out while we're testing things and working things through. So it was pretty cool.
What were you most excited to see going in?
Oh, gosh. So I was most excited to see the Monsters universe. So Dark Universe. That was because I'm a huge horror person and I love classic monsters. And, it's never really been done before. So to have like villains or monsters be like center stage. So that was really what I was looking forward to the most. And that's really what I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it lived up to the expectations.
It totally does. I hope that they expand that section. I don't know if that's in the plans or what their plans are in terms of expansion, but that was the first thing we actually did when we got there. We kind of assessed. I mean, even though we got there on time, so the hours that we were allowed in the park that day was a Sunday, where it was I think it was 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it really isn't that long of a stretch in like theme park hours, right? To see everything. So we really kind of tried to plan out our attack, especially like if you show up and maybe something's down at that time, then you want to make sure you get there if it's open later on. So Monsters Unchained, the wait was like barely anything when we first got to the park. So we just beelined for Dark Universe. And it was great. The atmosphere was fantastic. I know everybody's probably heard people's opinions on Monsters Unchained, but to me it was like everything I want in a dark ride. I know that some people maybe have like their opinions that they don't like certain things about it, but I loved every second of it. I got off and I was like, that is my favorite ride that I've ever been on. I mean, everything about it.
That's cool.
It's funny that you mentioned the dark rides, because when we were in, and I might have said this somewhere else, but when we were in Disneyland and we hit all the dark rides in Fantasyland, and I was just like, "Woo, this is about like," and Mrs. Dillo was like, "You just really like the rides where they just take you scene to scene to scene." I love them. I like. It really didn't like dawn on me until right then. I was like, oh man, I just really love a good dark ride. It's just telling me the story and getting me out of there. That's all I need.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I could care less about a roller coaster, although I'll go on roller coasters. But for me, I like to be immersed. I want to be part of a story. I want to see like I want to be in the movie. I want it to be in my face. I want to be all up in it. And that's basically, what that is. I mean, something like that, I guess it's considered a dark ride, right? Even though it's a little bit more intense than you're just sitting in the slow moving, vehicle like we're used to. And I mean, now all the technology is expanding and they're making improvements on that. I mean, maybe it's kind of like a hybrid the way it is with the Kuka arms. But yeah, I mean, that's just my favorite, that type of ride. So I loved every second of it. I mean, the animatronics alone are, and I know that Universal calls them something different than animatronics, but I can't think of what it is right now. But were insane. They were crazy. Mm-hmm.
No, but that's cool that, I mean, especially for you who is such a fan of the whole genre, and for you to be going into it excited like that, and you're the perfect audience for it, and to really be like, oh, like, just bring this and make it awesome and have it be that. That's really cool, because I think, we like to dillo our expectations around here, and we're scared to get too excited about things, but it's great that it like wowed you that much.
Absolutely. I'm nervous for the villains land at Magic Kingdom because sometimes Disney doesn't do things that live up to an expectation or is what you actually want to once they're done executing it. But I'm still excited about that. So we'll see. We'll see how it compares.
Yeah.
Just to focus on that area a little bit, because the things I saw, and agreed, I've heard people say things about the attraction that I'm like, I don't know, just the quick videos I've seen, it looks like cool things. And I've seen most of the Universal classic horror movies, but old movies just never stay in my brain. So it's always one of those things where I feel like I need to go to revisit. But did you see any walk around characters? Because I've seen video of the Invisible Man, and that made me go, whoa. And then I have a friend who is playing a walk around character, so it was exciting to see her doing that. Did you experience any of that in that area? Because that also seems very cool to me.
Yeah. Even across the park, we did see a couple. There, it seems as though now there's more from what I'm seeing from what everybody's showing on, Instagram and TikTok and everything. So in Dark Universe, we did see the Invisible Man. So that was the one character in Dark Universe that I believe was out while we were there.
Very nice.
And he was cool.
Yeah. is he just being mysterious, or is he interacting with guests? Like that's what I was like. What did he do? I just saw him lurking.
He was interacting with guests. Like he was like lingering in the corner somewhere, or like in a little nook in front of one of the restaurants. And then he would start to interact. We didn't watch him that much because we were like in such a rush to like try to get to as much as possible in the short time that we had, that we didn't like see how he was interacting with the guests or anything like that. But I mean, he looked pretty cool, like the classic Invisible Man with like the sunglasses and the rat and the suit. So yeah, it looked like it was cool. I'll be excited to see the other characters that they bring out there and how they fit into everything, because I mean, everything was cool there. Unfortunately, the effect for the I think it's the Burning Blade Tavern wasn't working, so we didn't get to see that. So it'll be exciting to go back and see that. Inside was nice. It was open. We were allowed to go inside and order a drink and stuff. So that was pretty cool. But looking forward to seeing that effect when we go back.
That's cool. Before we go to another portal, I want to hop out of the park for a second, because we probably should have asked you this first, because this is something we thought about when we were talking to Adam, who we're talking to next week. But did you stay in a Universal resort?
I did.
One of the new ones or one of the OGs?
No. No. Our go-to, I mean, eventually we'll stay in one of the new ones, I think, to try it out. But our go-to resort at Universal is always Cabana Bay. I don't know, we just love it there. Yeah. I don't know, the rooms are large. We love the atmosphere. We love mid-century modern stuff. So it really totally suits us. So that's where we stayed. Oh, I have to tell you this side bit. You know, we got, and nobody knows obviously my life, but we have recently moved into a temporary home, and we bought this machine that you hook up to your HVAC system, and it pumps out scents, right, to make your house smell nice. And so we researched what they use at Lowe's hotels, and we ordered the liquid scent that you put in the machine. So now our house smells like a Lowe's hotel.
I love it. Love
that. Everybody needs to run out. And that company, Magic Candle Company, that makes the park smells, they have liquid smells also. So we got like the contemporary smell and the cruise line smells.
Yeah.
So it's funny. Cool. It smells good. Everybody needs to go out and makes their house smell like a hotel.
I do that with my office at work. I have a diffuser, and I have 4 of the different smells. The beach resort one, the beach club one is most often people walk in and go, "Why does it smell like a hotel in here?" And I'm like, that's where I want to be.
That's where I am mentally right now. How was getting to Cabana Bay to Epic from 2?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually not as close as you would think it is. We drove there. It was pretty crowded when we arrived. Actually more crowded than I thought it was going to be. So there was a little bit of a line to get in. So I think it took us about 10-15 minutes drive to get there. But there was a road that was closed, that there's construction going on. So I think that once that's open, the drive might be faster from that section where the Universal Resort is. And what was surprising is the parking lot is pretty small. So I think that maybe on days where they reach capacity or it gets very crowded, I think that, I don't know if this is the plan, that people might have to park over at Universal and then take bus over. I'm wondering if that's going to be the plan, because it didn't seem like it held that many cars. So I guess we'll see how they're going to deal with that transportation.
Interesting. And you drove, was there a shuttle option, or maybe not yet?
No, not yet. Yeah. So we just drove in with our friend, and then we parked, but we actually parked pretty close. So we didn't have to, sometimes you park forever away at a park and you have to walk in, but it was good. And it was just so exciting to like show up. And the new entrance is pretty cool. I mean, obviously everybody's seen it. As like the tower is a bit of an homage to the setup of Universal. Unfortunately, the effect, the spinning effect of, I don't even know what they actually call it, wasn't on. So that'll be exciting to see when we go back. But it's just really a cool experience. Like you're walking through the initial, I think they call it Kronos, right? The Kronos, which is like the initial portal into Celestial Park, which totally has a different feeling from other theme parks, even Universal. Like I feel like you enter a theme park and it's like kind of overwhelming, and it seems a bit closed in, and there's just a lot going on immediately. That's not how this is. So Celestial Park is pretty open, has a very steampunky feel. There's a lot of concrete right now. I'm sure, like, the trees will grow up, but there's a lot of space, and it seems kind of empty until you kind of see what's going on. But definitely more of a calming feel to walking into a theme park, which I thought was interesting.
How do you think it'll be in the summertime in this area?
I'm sure it'll be super hot.
Yeah.
So like the trees grow up.
Yeah.
There are a couple of bars. So there's a bunch of restaurants in Celestial Park, and then there's a couple of standalone bars. We went to one of the bars called Celestic, Celestiki, I think it's called. And right after we went to Dark Universe. And by the way, if anybody likes a mudslide, the frozen mudslide is amazing, and it's worth every overpriced price penny for a drink. It's almost like drinking pudding, but it was so thick. So if you like a mudslide, you got to go to Celestiki Bar. It's right outside of Dark Universe. Highly suggest. But yeah, it'll probably be hot, but what theme park isn't hot?
It's true. I mean, Animal Kingdom, look at that. There's no shade there. So,
here we go. Yeah, well, you're throwing the shade is what it is.
Well, what I think is interesting about what we talk about is you think about every entrance of every park we know, and it's very much you got to get through this part. We got to get you in. We got to get you as far back as you can, so that it's not insanity up front. But here it seems like, you can stop, and it's not just about shopping necessarily. It's actually like, if you want a drink, you can get a drink before you get started.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the gift shops are right there, so that you can hit them up as you're either going in or leaving, and they're pretty big, and there's a couple of them, but it's nothing like that stalls you. I'll be interested to see when it's super crowded, if then you get that feeling. But when I was there, it seemed pretty doable. And also in Celestial Park, we ate lunch at I think it was called Medio Astro Pub, which was very good. So I suggest anybody go there. I do not suggest anybody try the Celestial Spritz, which is their custom-made drink for the park. It was, in my opinion, disgusting. And it was kind of on par with I'm blanking, Jen, at Epcot. Beverly? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not the same flavor, but just equally as like, I don't want this.
Oh no. People are paying for that? That's even worse than Beverly then.
Yeah, but you have to try it.
You have to try it. Oh.
So you mentioned
this
machine, the machine with the pumping of the cents. Is it worth the investment? People are looking for links. Jeffers wants a link to the machine. Theme Park Rob is ready to pump the cents through his home. What give us more information?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but we actually got it on Amazon. So like just type in like HVAC scent diffuser, something like that. It's like kind of looks like a small suitcase, and then like there's a tube that attaches to it, and you just shove it in your HVAC air vent and the intake, and it works really well.
Nice. It's fancy. So fancy down there.
You talked about the shops, but which connects me to Dark Universe real quick. Was the merch available in each area too, or was it more in the front of the park? Like, did you buy a lot of, you're like, oh my God, all the Dark Universe merch?
Yeah. So when we got off Monsters Unchained, you exit obviously through a gift shop, and I was like, I have like 40 things that I need to purchase, but we'll buy them later when we get through everything. And of course, by the time we got through everything, the park was closed, so we couldn't go back to get any merch. But yeah, there is some pretty cool merch in Dark Universe that I'll have to hit up when I go back. And the funny enough, like I kind of liked the kids stuff better than the adult stuff. It was so cute.
That's cool. And then we were wondering about this too, with like how you navigate from portal to portal. So there's just kind of one way in, one way out, essentially.
So funny enough, like the videos that you see, it makes it seem like the portal entrance is the only way to get in.
Yeah.
But it isn't. On the side on the side of the portals, there are entryways and exit ways. It's obviously just for like crowd control.
Right.
I mean, but obviously you want to go through the portal because it's super cool.
Right.
Everything is just very well designed. When you go through, obviously, there's music, and then there's like LED screens that take over the circle, and you feel like you're going, through a portal into this different land. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
The second stop we went to was Isle of Berk. For those who are fans of How to Train Your Dragon, I love dragons, so that was exciting for me as well. It is beautiful. It's really what I don't know. I think a lot of people have said this, but very well themed, very well done, just completely immersive. The ride that we were able to go on there was I should probably have done my research and remembered the ride names, but it's the Hiccup roller coaster. And it's just so cute. It was just very well themed. You think it's going to be like a barnstormer type roller coaster for families, but it's like punched up. And it's really cool. And not to like give anything away, but Toothless makes an appearance on that ride, and it's great. The meet and greets were open for Toothless, and I'm sure everybody's seen videos now that they're out there. We didn't wait on the line, but we were standing pretty close to it, and that alone was amazing to see. Like they've really done a great job of not a very I just have a bad memory when it comes to certain things, especially when I'm talking about things. But I mean, the way they've stepped up, like that type of meet and greet and the technology used, I mean, it really looked like you're next to a dragon. It's amazing. And there were like Streetmosphere people walking around there. So the Vikings, we grabbed a cake pop in one of the shops. It was delicious. It was like a giant piece of cake on a stick. It was amazing.
That's pretty good. It's really funny, as like going into this, I'm thinking, oh, well, he's probably going to be so excited about a new Harry Potter land. And as we're going portal by portal, I'm like, no, this entire park is meant for you. Like these are all the things you love in one place.
I know.
Yeah.
I love a dragon and a Harry Potter, and so I can talk about Harry Potter.
Well, you can finish with
kind of a natural transition. So after we ate lunch, two people that I was with, they went on Stardust Racers, the roller coaster, and I was just like, I can't go on that after I eat. Like, what is wrong with you? And like, what is wrong with you that you can go on something like that after you eat? I mean, I will totally throw up everywhere. And actually somebody did while they got off the ride. So I was like, but I'll probably go on next time. I just didn't want to get nauseous, but they said it was an amazing roller coaster. It just goes so fast. They said it's so smooth. So I look forward to going on that next time. We did go over to Harry Potter section, which of course is, again, extremely immersive, extremely well done, very beautiful. Unfortunately, at this point in the previews, the ride was not open, so we did not get to go on the ride, but we did get to go through the queue line. So they let people go through the flu system and then navigate in the queue, and then they would just send you out once you were done with that. And I mean, it is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in terms of a queue line. I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of money they spent just on the queue line. It was like you were in the Ministry of Magic. It is all encompassing. Everything was done so well. Like, I think everybody that is able to go is going to be super impressed with just that. I know people are really enjoying the ride, and so I'll be excited to go on that as well. We did try to see the show that's in Harry Potter. And we did get in, and unfortunately, 5 minutes into the show, it had a technical problem, and they reset. And then 5 minutes after that, they had a technical problem. So then they were just like, "We're good, we're done." So, but what we saw of the initial parts of the show, it looks very promising. So I'm sure it's probably amazing.
All three of the Universal parks have the Harry Potter wow factor in Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, and presumably having not been there, but through the portal, just being in the areas themselves, can you rank them?
Oh my God. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I don't God, Frank. I'm just totally unprepared for a rank. By the way, this is what like Jen and I used to do during class when we should have been paying attention to ranking stuff like this.
This is why I'm not allowed to rank anything with her, is because of you.
True. We did it all in college on the edge of our papers.
So okay, I guess it's kind of obvious what I would do. So I would say that my number one is Dark Universe. My number two is Isle of Berk. My number three is probably Super Nintendo, and then 4 would be the Harry Potter section, and then 5 would be like the Celestial Park area.
I will rephrase my question.
Yes.
The 3 Harry Potter areas I was asking you to rank.
Oh my gosh.
I know what number 3 will be now.
Just why do I even show up for questions? It's almost like I don't even pay attention to what you're saying. And then just so everybody knows, they're like nodding to each other like, oh, he's an idiot and he didn't understand your question. So make sure you rephrase it when it's done.
Like, it's gay. Like,
like, oh, look at this fool. I would say it's hard not having been on the ride at Epic Universe, but I mean, I would say that Forbidden Journey is great. So I would say that Universal, the original section is probably the best. Then the Epic Universe, and then the part in wait a minute, I got that completely backwards because the original section is in Islands of Adventure, right?
Yeah.
So Islands of Adventure, Epic Universe, then Universal. Because I don't really love the Green Gots ride, so I'm putting that into it. But in terms of immersiveness, I mean, they're all equal quality.
I mean, we got there. We got to where.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Now, since you mentioned Nintendo, we're segueing naturally from one place to the other. You brought it up and you put it in your ranking. Were you are you a Nintendo person? Were you a Nintendo person when you were young? What's your video game story here?
Absolutely, totally Nintendo person. I loved Super Mario, and I say Super Mario, and everybody in the South makes fun of me. No, what are you even saying? It's Super Mario.
Super Mario. How do you? Just side note. How do you say the movie ENCANTO?
Oh my god! Well, now that you've asked me, I feel like I'm in Kanto.
So here's what's so funny. So Mama Dillo always Encanto. Did you watch Encanto? And the kids are always like, Encanto? What are you talking about? And then when we talked to Adam, he was very big on the Encanto. I was like, oh, this is so up here.
It's such a northeastern thing.
Yeah, for Super
Mario.
So Super Mario was super cool. So yeah, it was a big Nintendo, obviously. I mean, when we grew up in the 80s and 90s, so we really had to be into. Oh, and this is the other thing that's a little bit of annoying to me as we're talking about Nintendo. So her name is Princess Toadstool. Okay? Everybody knows that, right? That was her name, and now all of a sudden she's Princess Peach. Your thoughts? Because they changed it in like I don't know the early 2000s something. If anybody knows the answer to that, but I thought I was having like a Mandela effect thing, and they're like, "Oh, Princess Peach," but I was like, "That's not what she was originally called, right?
Oh, interesting.
She was Princess Toadstool."
So first of all, you're talking to Atari and Genesis people from the 80s and 90s. We weren't cool enough for Nintendo.
But wait a minute, hold on a sec. Don't even wait. Hold on a second. Genesis was like a step up from Nintendo. So what do you mean you weren't cool enough for original Nintendo? Well, you're not talking about Super Nintendo. You're talking
original Nintendo was pretty huge.
That's pretty big. I don't know, but I see what you're saying, and not until you said it did I go, "Huh, there's something familiar about that." But now, because the kids are into it, I know I hear Princess Peach all the time, so now it's hard for me to until you say it. Yeah.
I mean, so it's pretty cool when you go through the portal. You actually go up an escalator, and then they make the sound effect like you're going through, the tube, and immediately you're like. It's like chaos. Like the music is super loud. Like everything's moving. Like all the different sections. Bowser's Castle, right? The Yoshi ride is going. The Toad Cafe. Like it's just all at once. Like hits you. And of course, like there's so many kids there. They're running around. They're having fun. So it's that portal is just really like a fun section, right? And then you can purchase. One of the bands. I got the Toad one, and you run around and you log it into your app, and you create a name for yourself, and then you walk around and you punch the coins and the bricks, and then it like tallies up your score, and then there's a bunch of games you can do to like level up, and that aspect of it is super fun.
Yeah. That's cool.
Unfortunately, when we were there, basically right when we got to that section, the ride stopped working. The Mario ride. But we were able to go on the Donkey Kong ride, Minecart Madness, which that section is pretty cool as well. We waited quite a while for that. I would say it's not, in my opinion, it's a cute ride. It's not something I would wait forever for. And then also like a tip, if you can ride, the carts are for people. If you can ride in the front of the cart, the effect of like the track not being there kind of hits better, because when you're in the back, you don't really have that view. Yeah. So definitely try to get in the front row of the cart when you go on that ride.
Sounds like I might need to go in the back. I don't know if I need to mess with my head like that. Why can't I do the track? I don't know where I am. Yeah.
It's pretty jerky too.
I got I have this relief band that I have to try out that I'm hoping will save Jen's theme park life, and it'll eventually lead up to her getting on the Velocicoaster someday.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, just do it. You know what I do? I take Dramamine.
That's great for you. Have you been on Velocicoaster?
Yeah. And you know what I did? I took a Dramamine before I went on. It works like a charm.
Listen, besides the Dramamine issue, I'm not going on when there's just a lap band. I'm going to fall out.
Okay. You'll be the one person that falls out. It'll happen to you.
And then how will you feel? You'll be like, she should have just taken a Dramamine.
I'll feel horrible. I will totally feel horrible. And I'll be like, well, did she take the Dramamine at least? But you know what? I'm not even going to make fun of you, because I don't ever want to go on the Hulk, because I don't want to get stuck upside down. For some reason, I only think that gets stuck upside down because it has gotten stuck upside down before.
But you went on Velocicoaster?
Yeah, because I was kind of dragged on the Velocicoaster.
Oh, how interesting. That's interesting.
Have you been on Cosmic Rewind?
Oh, yeah, I've been on Cosmic Rewind, yes.
To take a Dramamine?
I absolutely took a Dramamine before I went on.
Now, what happens if you do multiple in a day? Do you take more than one Dramamine, or are you good for a while?
No, I just take the one, like at half an hour before I get to the park, and it pretty much keeps me set for the day.
Yeah.
Can you, Jen? Can you ask Paul the apparatus in your house? RADIATOR. How do you say that word?
Wait, did you spell radiator?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But why do you say it properly? Is that how
Yeah.
you've always said it?
Radiator.
Come
Is
on.
that radiator? Is that
Yeah.
what you want me to say?
Yes. Did you ever say radiator?
I don't think so. I think I've always said radiator, but I say
Ask your
other
parents
things.
later how they say it.
Okay, I'm sure they'll say it how you want to say it because they still have that heavy
That's what I'm
accent, Long
saying.
Island
Right.
accent. But I mean, I
Yeah.
still say stupid things like eggs.
I mean, you
Eggs.
always see, you and I always had the leg, bagel, eggs. You would always
Yeah.
say it different than I said it, though. I'd be like, why are you saying it like that? What do you mean your leg? What do
Do
you
you hit
mean?
the ing with the g at the end, Paul? Because I know some Long Islanders who do that, and I'm like, do I have that? I don't think I have that. Ing.
Oh.
Sometimes there's an ing at the end.
Oh.
I don't think I do the I don't think I do the heavy G.
Yeah.
Ing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Another episode of Long Island Talk.
Long Island Talk with
Yeah.
the three of us. We'll do a side pod. Lewis is saying, can you get stuck upside down on Hulk? So, Paul, you've seen this happen?
Yeah, it's definitely happened before. I think they replaced the track a couple of years ago, but it has happened before, and ever since it happened, I like have a nervous breakdown before I go on that ride, so I just stopped doing it. I've also only been on the Rip Ride and Rocket once. And I know they're taking it out, I think they said they were taking it out or something because I passed out on that ride. So,
Right.
although I will I will attempt to do certain things, I do have some PTSD when it comes to roller coasters. But like, listen, in my defense, when we were getting on Rip Ride and Rocket, they made us, it's like a continual like situation when you're getting in the vehicle. And they made us get out of the vehicle 3 times before we actually got into one that they actually launched. So already I was like, what is going on? Like, this is not normal. We shouldn't be, what kind of like psycho thing is this happening? And then of course my head was already like beat red. And then you go up at a 90-degree angle. And when I'm not supposed to pass out at that point with all the blood that's in my head. And then the worst part about it is it was on video because they videoed you on that ride.
Oh, interesting. What ride did I hit my head on?
Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls.
Oh, the rip was in my head. I was like, is that what that was on? I don't think so.
No, you're not going on. You were never going on that roller coaster. No way.
I'm not going on many things.
Velocicoaster, we're doing it.
I'm not doing it. Amy Ratcliffe, author, Amy Ratcliffe said I did not have to go on it. So
that's fine.
I will say that it's pretty fun. Wait, so have you not gone on Hagrid's motorbike adventure?
I haven't been to Universal since I was probably there with you at Halloween Horror Nights in the mid-2000s.
In the mid-2000s. That is horrible. What are you doing? You need to branch out. That ride is great, Hagrid's. You would love that too.
Would I though?
I think Hagrid's you'd like. I think
is that the one with the bike? Because I don't do well on bike roller coasters, apparently. So look at me on Tron. I did it. I'm done. I'm not doing that again.
Oh my god!
Did you do Tron yet?
No, I've never done Tron.
Okay, so then wait till you do Tron.
I know. I'm afraid it's gonna hurt my back. Well, it does.
Oh,
Does it hurt the position that you're in?
I don't know. I have no idea what happened on that ride. I was screaming, apparently louder than Frank has ever heard.
Never heard her scream like that in my life.
Oh my
gosh! The veins were popping out of my neck. My arms were just completely straight. I don't know what happened.
Well, in the Dark Universe, they have a roller coaster called like Curse of the Werewolf, I think it's called. And I pretty much had my eyes closed the entire time because like it's one of those that the car you're in actually spins. It's like Guardians in the fact that your car moves also.
Right.
But I mean, in Guardians, at least you're inside and it's dark. This is like the sun's in your face. I was like, get me off of this. To me, that was like a one and done for me. That I don't think I'd go on that again.
Way to bring it back to Epic.
Yeah, way to go. So we can start wrapping things up here, because the thing that all the information about Epic, and as I said 100 times before, the hype for Islands of Adventure when I lived in Florida was real. And so I feel that hype again. And I wonder if there will be, not that the outcome was bad for Islands of Adventure, but I wonder about the repeatability. But for you, I feel like, these are IPs that you're going to keep coming back to. So this, as Jen was saying, this park speaks to you more. So you feel like you're going to visit this park more often in the future.
Yeah, especially since I didn't get to experience everything. And especially since things were rushed, even the little things like walking around and like looking at the little details, I'm very excited to go back to see. I'm super excited to go back at night. I think at night it'll be a completely different experience than it was during the day. So that part makes me excited. You do bring up a good point that once people experience it, is it something that they'll continue to go back to? I guess they'll have to see.
Yeah.
I think that the IP that they've chosen as are very popular ones. So I think that they'll have some success at that. And then it's also exciting to think about if they have plans for expansion, what those might be. There are already rumors that people think that they're going to do a Zelda expansion for Super Nintendo World because of the little things that are a part of the design. So if they do that, obviously it will be something that's cool. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how it grows.
Just because I haven't looked at the park, I haven't looked at a map or anything like that. And I think this would apply to all three parks, but Wicked is a pretty good IP for them right now. Is there space to do something different entirely to do an IP for Wicked?
A new portal.
A new portal?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like they do have space for a decent amount of expansion. The portals it's interesting. It feels close, but spread out at the same time. I mean, when you're in each land, they feel very large, but I think they've done a good job of making them feel large in smaller spaces.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Wicked, so I think that it would be cool for something like that. But that one, I guess, is interesting. Would that have longevity and the fan base for it to be popular for as long as the other ones would be?
See what you did there.
See what you did with the popular.
Popular. That's a good one.
I know about popular.
I have some rankings for you for Epic.
Okay, can you explain it to me in a way that I can understand this time so I do it correctly? Appreciate it.
I'll try my best.
Okay.
All right, first up.
Yeah.
The best ride you went on.
Monsters Unchained.
The best snack or food you had. Meal, snack, whatever.
So at Meteor Astropub, my meal was a chicken sandwich and it was good, but somebody that I was with had the tomato bisque and grilled cheese, and that was pretty phenomenal. So I would say that's really great for food. There's so many food options. So it'll be interesting to see what the other things are, but we would definitely recommend that. The cake pop that I had at Isle of Berg was delicious, so I definitely recommend that. I would have liked to had the mac and cheese cone for Isle of Berg, but I don't know. We had already had lunch or whatever. So, and I'm just basically saying everything we had was good. So that's not even a ranking. But if I have to say one thing that you should do, and if you do like the drink, go get the frozen mudslide.
Okay. All right. Those are good. The best merch you saw that you're like, that is the first thing I'm getting when I go back.
Oh, God, I'm so pathetic. But there's a kid's T-shirt that's monsters themed. It's like kind of like it's like a kind of a baseball tee, and then it has like little monster characters and like cartoon form on them, and definitely if there's an extra large, I will be getting that next time.
That's adorable. I love
Mm-hmm.
that. Which portal has the best vibes?
Like the actual portal piece or the entire section?
I would like you now to answer both.
Okay, I give myself more work.
Unless it's all the same, correct?
Okay. I would say I love an eerie vibe, so I do love Dark Universe, but if you're looking for the best vibe, that's not chaotic.
Right.
For me, it would be Isle of Berk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Harry Potter is very nice, and it's almost like being in France, but it's like just being in France. But being in Isle of Berk, it's like you're in this completely made up world. So I would say that has the best vibes.
All right. And Portal as well.
And then all the portals are just cool in their own way.
Yeah.
I am curious about the escalator one because I don't think I'm hoping the video doesn't do it justice, because some video I'm like, all right, I get it, and then there's other video I'm like, that looks not, I don't know, it looks like an escalator. So I think I feel like I need a more in-person experience for that. But can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think
that negative. I just
what you see is what you're gonna get. Like, we walked in and I was like, "Wow, how come we didn't make the noise?" Of course, you want your experience to be that you walk in at the exact point that it makes the noise going through the tube, but it made the noise like when I was closer to the top of the escalator. And of course, you're like, "I'm on an escalator," like what?
Right.
And it is a bit weird that you go up on an escalator and you actually enter on like the second story, basically. You come out of Princess Peach or whatever you want to call her's castle. And by the way, she was there. She was there hanging out, just doing her Peach thing. And then they're like, "Oh, come see Peach." Oh, you can't take a picture.
Did you go up to her and say, "I know who you really are.
I know your name is Toadstool."
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you couldn't take a picture.
Yeah, but then we were like, well, why are we gonna see her if we can't take a picture? But she was really cute in person. She does have animation in her mouth and talk, so that was actually kind of fun. But yeah, don't get too excited about entering Supernatural.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make it, because obviously getting to the second floor, that's cool too, just that it's different than the others, but seeing just like the escalator, steps of the escalator, I'm like, can we do better? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but yeah. All right.
But it's 2 levels in that portal too, right?
Yeah. So you come up on the second level, and then the entrance to Bowser's Challenge is that level, and then to get to Donkey Kong, you go downstairs basically. Okay. And that area is really cool as well. Very well themed. I was so disappointed that Donkey Kong meet and greet wasn't active that time, because that'll be really cool.
Yeah. That was all for my rankings. You did great. Great.
Oh, okay. I'm glad that one worked out.
And I'm just gonna let you know that I was scribbling some of my ranking questions on paper here, similar to I would on the edge of my paper in our classes. So I kept it small and just
Yeah, absolutely. Don't ask me what I learned in school.
No.
Because what I learned was all of how we wanted to rank things at Disney. Yeah.
And
how did we even graduate?
I have no idea. We have the same degree. And I have no idea how we got there. I don't know anything I learned there.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of things we found annoying. You had a what?
I said I had a pretty good GPA too, actually.
Me too. I think we were similar in high school too. So what? What do you mean you don't believe it?
Dan mentioned a couple weeks ago that it was the 25th anniversary of Oops, I Did It Again, and I wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't even want to talk about how old we are. I feel like we're at this age where, like, even the other day I was like, what what is happening? I don't even know how I got here at this point. So much has gone back. Like, so much
Mhm.
time has passed, so it
Mhm.
seems a bit weird. I don't know, Frank, when you were our age, did you go through like a whole, it's
He's been
this
going
went
through it
pretty
since he was
fast.
25.
Yeah. No, I started a podcast when I was this age. That was
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and if we're talking about Brittany and the anniversary of Oops, I Did It Again, I just wish she was in a better place.
Same. Mhm. Hashtag save Brittany.
Do you have another trip to Central Florida planned before attending the Dillo's Diz meetup in November?
Good question.
That was a very good way of saying that. You would fit very well in the passive aggressive South. I every year I want to go to the Dillo's this meetup, and it hasn't worked out. So I'm very excited to try to go to the Dillo's this meetup this year in November. I do very much want to go as well for this year's Halloween Horror Nights because I'm a huge Halloween Horror Nights fan, and I haven't been able to go for a couple of years. And especially that I heard that there was rumors that there was going to be a house dedicated to Scream, and I love the Scream franchise, so I really want to get down. But yes, I have in plan to go down again, but we'll see if it actually happens.
Right.
So I'm going to be positive and say I have
Yeah.
plans to go back 2 more times this year, which
There you go.
includes going to Halloween Horror Nights, probably in September when it's not too crowded, and then also going back in November for the Dillo's Diz meetup.
There you go. You got to speak it into existence. You got to manifest it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what? I just did. So
What?
it's happening.
I thought
I spoke it into existence.
I thought you were going to say something else. You manifested it at work, so that's why I'm doing it again. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What did you do? Talking about Halloween means someone has not heard this year's dates. No, he's going on 2 trips though. So he's going to do Halloween Horror Nights as 1 trip and then go back again in November.
Good. Well, all right. Is there anything we need to add here before we officially wrap things up?
I think. Are you asking me, Frank?
I don't know who I'm
Would
asking.
you like me?
Jeffer says just book the reservation, then you have to go.
That's how it works.
I know. That's, you know what? That probably is the right thing to do. I would say, here are some takeaways from today's conversation. I would say, 1, everybody needs to get the thing that makes their house smell like hotels.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
It's absolutely worth it. And it just makes your day just a lot better when you come home and you feel like you're at a hotel. 2, if you have a chance to go to Epic Universe, definitely do go. It is definitely worth going. It is a newer experience. You know, when was the last time a new theme park opened up that had this level of excitement? So even if you're on the fence, just go. I think there's something everybody would like. You know.
Just book the reservation, like Jeffer said.
Right, exactly. So it's same for that too.
Yeah.
All right. So your 3 takeaways.
And my 3rd takeaway is that I miss you guys so much. I wish I saw you.
Don't make me cry, Paul.
It made me so excited on the intro to see all your pictures and all the fun stuff. So I'm so happy I got to talk to you guys today.
Paul, how much did I snot on you the day we said goodbye in Florida?
So much snot. I probably had to throw out my shirt.
Probably.
And it's locked in a photograph.
It is. Yeah. Maybe we'll post some OPP and Jen pics in the resort for everyone to see.
That would be fun.
Adorable. Our little dance-off picture. Our dance-off picture is adorable.
Oh, yeah. Only the really good pictures.
Yes, obviously. Yeah.
And before we go, since we're here at DillosDizResort.com, Lou was saying 20-some years ago, and the Dillos still don't care about the park opening. Listen, Islands of Adventure opened a year after Animal Kingdom. I was working there. I was excited for Islands of Adventure. Now, I unfortunately was doing summer repertory at UCF when Animal Kingdom opened, which is why I missed that whole thing entirely.
Sure, that's it.
Sort of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
That's why Animal Kingdom never just caught on.
Anyway.
Oh God, you guys in AK. I mean, it's like, just come around already. Like, it's beautiful.
We came around a lot in the last.
I know, but you still,
We were there for half a day last year. I don't know what the problem is.
Not even, you know what? I'm not even saying last year, even though it was a different calendar year, but it was less than a year ago we were there.
Well, you'll have to go back for Encanto.
For Encanto. We're going to see it. Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap this up here on the Theme Park Thursday episode. It's an epic month here on the Theme Park Thursday podcast and OPP. Do you have any social media places to plug? You got an Instas you want to share?
Where can we follow you, OPP?
No, I don't. I have boring social media presence. I
think you need to be on social media more.
What? Okay, well, maybe we need to have a discussion on what you think I need to be doing on social media more.
All right. Well, until next time, that's OPP. She's Jen and I'm Frank. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Dillo's Diz podcast is hosted by Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo-Snyder. Music produced by Matt Harvey. Logos and video production courtesy of Snidillo Studios. Dillo's Diz Resort is our Patreon with tiers starting as low as $1 per month. You can visit dillosdizresort.com to learn more. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X Twitter, and Facebook at Dillo's Diz. Check us out on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/DillosDiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. We also have merch available on TeePublic and Etsy. For all this and more, visit our one-stop shop, dillosdiz.com. Dillo's Diz Podcast 2025.